Alright guys, so today we have the Nexus 6P. We're going to be taking a look at this new Google phone, successor to the Nexus 6. So right off the bat, this phone has kind of been contended as a competitor to the iPhone 6s Plus, which it sort of is because they're both about the same screen size, the same processing power. They're pretty much the same phone, just different manufacturers. So the Nexus 6P ships with a Snapdragon 810 processor, which is 8 cores, also 3 gigs of RAM, 6.27 ounces in weight, which is a little bit lighter than the iPhone 6s Plus, which is 6.77 ounces, and the screen size, which I think is the real winner here, 5.7 inches compared to the 5.5 inches on the iPhone 6s Plus. And you can really tell that they did a good job fitting the screen onto the phone because the bezels are super thin. So when you're holding the phone, you feel like you're really gripping the screen rather than wasting space holding the plastic part of the phone. So I don't have the iPhone 6s Plus here with me right now, but if you've ever seen one, you'll see that they waste a lot of space up here on the top bezel as well as the side bezel. They don't do that here with the Google phone, so I really like that. In terms of the screen, you get 518 pixels per inch, which is pretty damn good compared to the 401 on the iPhone 6s Plus. It's a really nice crisp screen. Make sure the light's not in the way, and it's really nice and fast. Very quick, very responsive. It's a solid phone. And then in the back, you have a 12 megapixel camera, which is on par with the iPhone 6s Plus. The front, you have a 8 megapixel selfie camera, which is pretty good. It's 3 more than the iPhone 6s Plus, which has a 5 megapixel front-facing camera. You got Bluetooth, you got NFC, and you now have a fingerprint reader, except it's on the back. So it's not down here, it's not meant for your thumb. I guess it's meant for, when your phone is on the desk, most people grab their phone like this, so you can just put your index finger, unlock it, and then as soon as you pick it up, it'll be unlocked. So it's kind of cool. If you're coming from the iPhone 6s, you're not gonna like this because I'm very used to putting my thumb here and unlocking. So, I mean, it's a minor complaint, but for Google users, it's gonna be fine because they're not really used to a fingerprint reader. So as I mentioned, the phone is a little bit lighter than the iPhone 6s Plus by about 0.05 ounces. But that's really not saying much because the 6s Plus ships with Force 3D Touch, which Apple said is going to take up a little bit more weight. So you're a little bit lighter, but you're not on par with the features. This also shoots 4K video, which is again on par with the iPhone 6s Plus. I think the greatest thing about this phone, and it's really hard to convey that on this video, is that it's just so nice to hold. When I held the iPhone 6s Plus, I didn't like it because it was just too big for my palm. I felt like I was holding a brick. But this does not feel like a 5.7 inch phone. It just feels like a 4.7 inch phone. It's just designed so well, and look how thin it is. So some other cool features with this phone. This is running Android 6.0 Marshmallow. So one of the features is called Doze, where the phone, if you don't use it for a while, it just goes to sleep to save battery. It's kind of like Apple's thing where I think they have a low power mode where when your phone reaches 20%, it goes into kind of a super low power mode where things are turned off to help the phone last longer. This goes to sleep. I guess it's the same thing, but again, that's great for battery life. If you swipe to the right, you get kind of your main taskbar. You get your calendar, your mail, and if it's time to go home, you'll get directions to your home. It'll say how bad the traffic is, how long it's gonna take. So my final impressions of this phone, I really like it. It's well made. I think this is the best built Nexus phone to date. A nice aluminum body. It's just really well made. It's nice and thin. It feels great in my hand. I would never put a case on this because it just feels so tough. It feels like a MacBook case. So I have a Mac right here. If you guys have ever seen a MacBook Air, any Mac for that matter, you know, the aluminum that they really use is nice and sturdy and it feels really high quality. That's how the Nexus feels. It's just very high quality, very sturdy, yet still light. Would I get this? Right now I have an iPhone 6s. Probably not. It's probably not enough to get me to switch over from Apple to Google, but if you are a Google user and if you have a Nexus 6, it's a no-brainer. Alright guys, so that's it for my Nexus 6P review. If you liked my video, please click the like button, and as always, subscribe.